Hi there, welcome to Terraland Soap Opera. Today I'm going to do a reading for Libra energy. And like usual on this channel, we're going to do two rows. The top row is going to be high vibe Libra energy. The bottom row is going to be a more worldly, shadowy Libra energy. We all have our dualistic nature. Some people right now could be battling within themselves. Do I have hope and faith and belief to step out of my comfort zone and live life a little differently than I've been living it? And they could be battling with detaching from an old way of living life, because sometimes that means, you got to quit certain habits or vices. You got to grow up, you got to mature, you got to heal yourself, you got to deal with some truth. You might have to detach from certain friendship groups or something. And that can be hard, so some people in the world will be struggling. But it's a general reading, so we're going to read it from a couple different perspectives. There's other people in the world who are definitely moving forward in high vibe energy, which can just be a new way for them. Other people can be moving forward in a much more higher vibe way than some other people that have learned some lessons and are moving forward in life differently. We're all at different stages of learning life lessons, right? You're going to be different than lessons and learned if you're a 40-year-old possibly than someone who's a 21-year-old. So while you're moving forward in your way, other people are moving forward in their way. In relation, though, to other people in our life, we might have some people in our life that are harnessing what we're referring to as the more worldly, shadowy way, just because they haven't learned some of the lessons that you've learned in life. It's all about, are you aligned with truth, love, justice, fairness, character, integrity, hope and faith and belief in your dreams? Or, are you more somewhere along the path? So we all tap into Libra energy. What do we think is just and fair? How do we view ourselves, the world? Do we have a more balanced perspective where, it is the things of the world that we want, but we act with character and integrity and love? Or are we kind of tipped out of balance, either indulging poor behavior in ourselves and others, or someone who's more motivated by ourselves, the world, our ego, our image, money, materialism? So the reason for the top row's reading, which is kind of interesting, in the top row, the cards aren't showing themselves. So there could be some people who are doing a lot of thinking about love, because there's a maximum of 10 in every suit, and this is the 9. So if you're 9 swords up in your head, you're thinking about one cup of love. What do I love? Who do I love? Well, high vibe people would be aligned with truth and love and loving themselves and working through all their fears and insecurities to go live their life differently, to view themselves differently, to, have more hope and faith and belief in themselves. They previously could have been someone who was all caught up in their head, something in their life. The reason for the bottom row's reading is the 10 of Pentacles. Could be about a job, could be about a family dynamic, could be about wanting to be in a family. We're in a family. But it was causing them a lot of stress, anxiety to be around that person or group, or the people in that family or group live more from their mind than their heart. Shadowy energy can be more about living more from your mind than your heart. Strategic, manipulative, materialistic, ego-based. Some other people did really give a lot of thought to if I wanted to keep moving forward with those people, living my life like that. Is that my truth? Is that what I find emotionally fulfilling? Is that what I love? I can love people who stress me out, that I'm in a family dynamic with, or friendship group or work group with, but do I find it emotionally fulfilling? We can love people and not want to hang out with them anymore. And when we talk about the shadowy row, we'll kind of find out some more shadowy traits and characteristics that some people in that situation that people could have been involved with were dealing with. It's like, do I want to keep living my life like that? No, the 8 of Cups is walking away from the 7 of Cups and walking towards the Nine of Cups. The Seven of Cups can be that we do have a deep emotional connection with some people. But is it based on truth and love, justice and fairness? I can love people and they can be unjust, unfair. They can be selfish, greedy, prideful, egotistical, materialistic, so consumed by the world or so consumed by the ego or themselves, that I don't want to hang out with them. I can love you and not want to hang out with you. And then the Eight of Cups going to the Nine of Cups is thinking I want to become more emotionally independent of, and if this isn't other people, because it starts within us, we more before could have been more about the world or the ego or the image or codependent energy. Am I independent? Do I love myself? Do I know how to fill up my own cup? Do I want to be more independent? Am I in a group with people who like me being more codependent? Are they more codependent? I could have all these things of the world. Great job, stable, secure environment. If it's a relationship, has a lot of these things of the world. Almost like by worldly standards, I could have all these things that I want. But is it emotionally fulfilling? Is it love? Is love at the foundation of it? Or is it fear and insecurity and pride and ego? The people who made the decision have moved on. They chose to, instead of moving forward, living more from their mind than their heart, they decided to listen to their intuition. Knight of Cups, Pisces energy. I'm going to connect in with my emotions and my intuition. I'm going to give myself that cup of love to listen to my intuition. If my intuition is telling me something about this is causing me a lot of stress and anxiety, or living my life this way, or hanging out with these people, and high vibe people, it's one of the lessons that you learn in life is to listen to your intuition. And there comes that point in time in our life, and then the Six of Wands. I don't want to live from my more worldly, egoic nature. I'm going to love myself enough to take this inspired action to get out of aligning with the competition. We have this dualistic nature. Am I going to align with my more worldly nature? Which can be my things about being more motivated and inspired by the world, and that takes more precedent in my life. Or am I going to align with my more loving, hopeful, believing, intuitive nature? And some people right now are debating this within themselves. Other people are going to make the decision to move forward. I'm not going to align. I have free will choice. It comes down to, do we align with our more, and anything on the spectrum of my more loving, hopeful, believing nature? And love is the guiding factor for the decisions I make. Or is it more me, defensiveness, ego, world, fear that drives the decisions of my life? So with this dualistic nature, one of them, they're both competing in a sense. We have the knowledge of the tree of good and evil, and the seeds of both were planted within us. We have free will to choose. Which one is the competition that we ignore, and which one is the one we align with? And high vibe people are going to make that decision to get out of their ego, believe in their dreams. From the 7 down to the 4, letting go of emotionally aligning with their more worldly nature, and then therefore some of the people in their life that they were hanging out with that were happy when they lived their life that way because they were living their life that way too. That I'm no longer going to work from a foundation of love with those people because it's not my truth anymore. We all live our life at certain phases of life, and then we're kind of stressed out and just feel like I'm ready for the next phase of life. I'm ready to face some of my fears and insecurities and live my life a little differently. which are those things that we've done throughout our life, age 15, age 18, age 21, age 25. When we were at any one of those stages of life, it was perfect and just and fair that we lived our life at that phase of life, because that's the phase of life we were at. But are we going to face our fears and our insecurities about going to the next level? Or because we're all up in our head about wondering if we love and believe in ourselves, we're going to keep being unbudging? Again, there's a maximum of 10 in every suit. When we get to the 10 of Pentacles, it's kind of like, I've learned everything I've needed to learn at this phase of life. There's nothing new to learn here. Am I willing to face my fears, to go, to learn, or whatever, to believe that I'm ready to step out of my comfort zone and go to the next phase of life, where I start out with the Ace of Pentacles and I start building at that new stage of life? Just like we did, age 15 to age 18 to age 21 to age 25. But there's certain things emotionally that we used to do at that stage of life that we need to distance ourselves from. There is a certain way I acted when I was 15 that I'm not going to do when I'm 18. There's a certain way I used to emotionally think and feel about myself when I was 15 that I don't at 18. There's certain people I maybe used to hang out that are going to keep acting like 15 years old in this analogy. I'm ready to, get a car, get a job, move out, go to the next phase of life, go to college, and other people aren't there yet. Well, if I'm ready for the next phase of life and some of those people are going to move with me, some of those people aren't, I wish peace to the people who aren't ready to move forward. But I am. I'm going to work through my emotional confusion about the fact that there's going to be certain people that I probably won't be hanging out with as much anymore. The Four of Cups talks about, there's going to be some people we don't hang out with as much anymore. Because we have that hopeful, believing spirit that I'm ready for that next phase of life. Who wants to come with me? I think loving people offer love and encouragement to the other people in their life to come with. And even though there's a part of them that's like, oh my gosh, this is scary, this is overwhelming, maybe I should just go back. It's kind of like once you've seen the truth, or come into some insight, some understanding, some healing, some maturing, it's kind of like we could go back and indulge our more immature nature. But we know that if we do that, we're going to, and it can be trial and error, and we can take a long time to do this. And we do go back, kind of operating more from our egoic nature. But then we're still in the confusion and feel like, well, why don't I love and believe in myself enough to move forward? And we go back and forth and we do it several times. And then eventually our more hopeful, believing spirit stops us, even though there are things that we liked about living our life the way we did do it. And some of the people we used to hang out with, that it's like, I just can't do it anymore. And I'm not going to let my fear and my insecurity or my pride or my ego or whatever manipulate me. I believe in myself, and I'm going to love myself and my own inner child nature to believe in my dreams. And even though there's parts of it that would like me to kind of go back to an old way of living life, I've already been there and I've done that. And there's nothing new for me to learn there. And I just end up being confused and maybe feeling like I've rejected loving myself. And then there's other people in the world that are happy when I don't believe in myself and don't believe in my dreams and don't love myself, because then I keep staying aligned with them. Just like our shadow nature is happy when we align with our shadow nature instead of our more loving, hopeful, believing nature. And then we have these different people in our life. Some people want us to love and believe in ourselves and grow to our full potential, aren't trying to manipulate and control us. But sometimes some of the people in our life that are kind of shadowy, who aren't planning to live their life that way, are happy when we don't, because they don't plan to maybe, or at a place of wanting to heal or grow or mature themselves or step out of their comfort zone. So, What is going on with some people who are harnessing some high vibe Libra energy right now that some of the people in their world don't understand what's going on within them? You seem to be spending a lot of time thinking. You seem to be maybe putting in a lot of work and effort within yourself where you're kind of not playing the game anymore. Whatever way we used to be, you're not doing that anymore. You seem to kind of be doing this work within yourself to heal and love yourself and believe in yourself and believe in your dreams. And there can be some people in the world who can't relate because they're not doing that in their life right now. And some of them might not like it. So, in order to move forward, people had to disconnect from harnessing these energies in a more worldly, shadowy way, and they are starting to harness these energies in a more high vibe way. And they also had to be willing to cut people in their life out who harness these energies in a more shadowy way out of their life. The Hermit in reverse. The Hermit in the upright was that we went within to gain insight and wisdom and understanding about some issues within ourselves about moving forward in life differently. We could have been hiding from the truth. If we're in friendships and relationships with some people, sometimes we don't want to see the truth about them. Maybe their long-term goal is to make the relationship more about them, where the scales of justice are kind of tipped in their favor, or they're more motivated by ego and money and materialism, maybe a little more superficial and shallow than more emotionally independent in the world from the world and their egoic nature and being authentic and warm and loving. And for a long time, we might not want to see that truth because we love those people. Queen of Wands, the Ten of Cups, the Sun card, 2 cards of Leo energy. We can love people. We want them to move forward with us. We want people in the workplace to be nice and kind. And we want our friends and our romantic interests to be loving and encouraging and supportive of us. And to be willing to respect that we're our own individual person. We can belong to a group, but I'm still my own unique, independent person. Why can't we respect that everybody's their own individual, unique person? The 10 of Pentacles can be about conformity. Oh, well, we don't do that. You can't do that. Oh, we've never done that. You can't do that. It's like, why can't I be part of this group and still be my own unique individual person? If I'm operating from a place of love, I'm not trying to hurt anyone. I'm not trying to manipulate or control anyone. But some people just don't like that. It kind of highlights the fact that they're kind of not independent of the world, of their ego, of their fear, being maybe more authentically themselves in the world. And it kind of illuminates the fact that you're not willing to conform to some group think. You're not maybe as ego focused or materialistically focused or superficial and shallow. You are more bold and brave and confident. You are willing to step outside your comfort zone when maybe some other people never step out of their comfort zone. So at some point in time, people decide the Virgo kind of in shadowy energy can be hiding from the truth. People went within to do this work and they were inspired by their more intuitive, loving nature to illuminate the truth, at least to themselves. We can view life differently. We can overcome some of our fears, our insecurities, our self-limiting beliefs. But, not everybody, we could talk to people till the cows come home. We can't, just like when we were younger and people tried to get us to love and believe in ourselves, and we hadn't really learned to love and believe in ourselves, or we were kind of being reckless and immature and causing all this chaos in our life. And other people were like, why don't you love yourself? Why don't you believe in yourself? Blah, blah, blah. All we can do, high vibe energy also is like being a leader in the world, leading by example. People could have talked to us till our ears turned blue. We could talk our head off to other people. Until they're ready, they're not ready. But high vibe energy is loving and warm and encouraging, because love is what helps people heal. Does that mean we're going to keep staying in relationships if other people are behaving poorly? No, because love also requires justice and fairness. And if you're acting in an unjust, unfair, stubborn, prideful, unbudging way of being, and it's not being like authentic and loving, and, Leo I view as being like in high vibe, very authentic, willing to give and receive love, be loving, be encouraging, be in life-giving energy. Quit hiding the truth. Quit hiding from the truth, which is love. So I think some high vibe people are doing this work within themselves to be kind of connect in. The queens can talk about how we think and how we feel, whether we're male or female, connecting in with their emotions and intuition about what would make them happy, where they could be authentically themselves, their authentic self, instead of hiding behind their more worldly, egoic nature. Who in their life is being loving, warm, encouraging, authentic? Who in my life is more motivated by the ego or the image or the money or the indulgence or the fear? Who might be trying to manipulate and control me and use the love that I have for them to manipulate me? Who has love for me but lets me be my own independent person to freely do what I want to do, to live my life the way I see fit? Who's willing to be authentic and warm with me? Who's not? So the high vibe people are done hiding. They've done this work within themselves and they've been illuminated to the truth. The truth sets us free to live our life differently. Sometimes this doesn't have to be other people in our life. God uses all these things that are creative and inspired and inspirational in the world to try to illuminate us to the truth. Books, movies, music, art, nature, other people that we see in the world, trying to get us to listen to our intuition, to love and believe in ourselves, to be willing to give ourselves the things that we wish other people would have given us so that we can heal and let the past go. Not being in codependent energy where we look to other people to fill our cup emotionally or to make us feel more stable and grounded. It's like hiding in the crowd. High vibe energy is willing to be authentically yourself and live your authentic life from a place of love. And like I say, some people are just doing that work within themselves. Other people have been illuminated to the truth. They could be listening to their intuition about whatever new thing it is that they want to move forward to next. When people are in shadowy energy, their judgment is clouded. Their fear, their insecurity, their pride, their ego. And sometimes people who are in that energy don't see other people clearly, and I think we can all tend to think that other people are like us. If I'm more motivated by fear and insecurity, I bet you are too. If I'm more about money and materialism, I bet you are too. I bet if I'm more prideful and egotistical and stubborn, I bet you are too. And shadowy energy can be people who try to create an illusion in the world. I'm not doing love. I get hurt doing love, or I have a lot of lessons to learn to know about what it really means to work together with people where I treat them the way I like to be treated, and I maintain balance and discipline within myself to not indulge myself in my more shadowy ways of being. And they can think that other people are doing that exact same thing. I'm in my fear, I'm in my insecurity. I'm just going to create an illusion that I'm the stable, grounded, loving person so that other people will be in friendships and relationships and hire me for jobs and want to work together with me in jobs and promote me and all that good stuff. And that's sometimes how some shadowy people live in the world, because they live more from their mind than their heart. It's all this like mental strategy of trying to make people view them a certain way instead of having done this inner work to authentically be the type of person they present themselves as. Well, I just present myself as being the stable, grounded person who's kind of that people should want to be in a relationship with, but I haven't done this inner work. It's kind of me trying from my ego, trying to present myself as harnessing high vibe energy so other people will move forward with me in relationship. And some of you have worked for people and been in friendships and relationships with people that they presented themselves as like a just and fair person who's loving and warm and nurturing. But as time went by, you found out that it was just kind of more of an illusion. It was really more about them. It might have worked for them for you to be in whatever relationship situation you were in with them. If it was a job or a friendship or a family, yeah, this works for us. This is good for our ego and our image. This makes us look really stable and secure and victorious and successful that you work here or you're in relationship with me. But, things progress over time. We can all have been at a phase in our life where we were more a little bit, the Queen of Wands is Leo energy, but the Sun is also Leo energy, but the Sun is major arcana. So it's kind of like, and the Queen is minor arcana. It's kind of like we grow and evolve over time. And where before we could have been a little more aligned with our more worldly egoic nature, and even when we get in relationships, hopefully as relationships grow and mature over time, people are growing and maturing also, and being more authentically themselves, and the relationship grows and matures over time. And that could have been what some of you had wanted, kind of like the dream really coming into reality, because you had hope and faith and belief and love. And that's when, as a relationship of some sort progressed, it was kind of illuminated that some of the people really have a lot of fear of detaching from some things in their world in the Eight of Cups that they would have to walk away from. It could be their original family, it could be their friend group, it could be their work group, it could be the world at large, their more worldly view of life. It could be it was illuminated that these people have a lot of fears and insecurities that they don't put in the work and effort to deal with, and they keep kind of just operating from their egoic nature. Well, you can't move to the next phase of life if you haven't healed, grown, matured, expanded your perception of yourself and the world around you in some way, willing to detach from kind of an old way of viewing life to start the next phase of life. And sometimes that's when some people in your life were decided, I could be honest and I could reveal the truth about my fears or my insecurities or whatever about moving forward to the next phase of life with you or whatever as just a human being and deal with some of my issues. But some people don't want to see the truth, or they're just not ready. And Virgo energy is earth sign energy. You have to be willing to put in time, energy, and effort to figure out why there's something within you, in your ego, that kind of makes you defensive
to being more authentically yourself or loving yourself, giving yourself the things that you wish other people would have given you so you can heal. Some people look to other people to get in relationship with, like, you're supposed to be the answer to my healing. See, I present myself this way in the world. Maybe I have money, maybe I have status, image, power, I'm attractive, whatever I got. And I figure that then I can just get in a relationship with people, and then that you'll kind of indulge me and love me, and I don't have to do that inner work. And sometimes they look to other people to like magically heal them, which, yes, when we're in loving, encouraging, supportive relationships, you know, but we have to make that free will choice to realize that, you know, while I'm in this loving, stable, nurturing environment, I should do some inner work when things might come up that cause me stress and anxiety or whatever. I should do this work within myself so that I don't get triggered into acting in ways that won't be conducive to this relationship moving forward. But that's not how some people view life. This is the way I've always lived life. This is the way people in my friendship group or family groups could have always interacted with me, where I don't have to do that work. You know, it's kind of like looking at someone they get in a relationship, like, you're my drug of choice. Or, you know, because some people look to drugs or alcohol or gambling or something to be the solution to them feeling better. Some people just try to get in relationships with loving, nurturing people. Ah, there. That's the answer. I feel so much better now. Which, yeah, they probably do feel so much better now. But if they get in relationships with loving, nurturing people, those people are going to continue to move forward in life. And they don't like that. It's like, well, no, I'm happy here. We should stay right here. It's like, so we're never going to move forward? Whatever fears or insecurities or self-limiting beliefs or shadowy ways of being that I might have become illuminated to that you have, leaving behind the Seven of Cups, Scorpio energy, I am motivated and inspired in high vibe to ride the roller coaster of life. I'm an emotionally complex person. I have dreams and aspirations. I just want to live my... Oops, got an alarm on my phone. I want to live my authentic life. I want to face my fears and insecurities. I want to dump my baggage throughout my life as I go. I want to deal with them and let them go so that I can keep feeling balanced within myself instead of tipped out of balance in my fear, in my insecurity, in my more worldly nature. I want the best of both worlds. I want these things of the world, but I want to be in an emotionally fulfilling, loving relationships. And I want those relationships and myself and my careers and all those things to grow and mature over time. I don't want to stay stuck in one way of being all my life, but some people do. And then they wanted you to keep kind of just moving forward with them, unwilling to detach from anything that they've got about them that starts to stress out other people, which could be, you know, I've kind of realized you lack self-insight. I could have come to realize you kind of try to manipulate me, or you're a little bossy or a little controlling, or think you're all that, or that it should be all about you. You know, that you have these other people that you have foundations and relationships with that you can love, but do the people that you're going to move forward with in a loving relationship and maybe have a family with and children, are they the primary responsibility and focus, take precedence in your life? Or do you kind of juggle back and forth and can't really decide, you know, am I more willing to detach from those people being the primary, like, foundation in my life to make you the primary foundation in my life? It doesn't mean that we have to disconnect from those people, but again, we all have these different phases of life. You know, we grew up in our original families and we're children, and then we kind of fly out of the nest to get apartments, get jobs, learn how to drive, start to take on responsibilities for ourselves. And some people want to not have to pick. One day you might be top priority, next day they might be. Next day they might be. I'm not willing to make, and that can be a thing about Libra energy, constantly going back and forth. And some people, regardless of if they're a Libra sun sign or not, maybe they got a lot of Libra placements, but maybe it's just something that is a challenge for them in their Libra aspect of themselves. There comes a point in time also where we got to pick a path. Am I doing truth and love and justice and fairness and having hope and faith and belief and facing my fears and treating other people the way I like to be treated and being more authentic? Or am I going to align with my more worldly nature, defensive nature, self-protective nature? The world's more important. Sorry, if it gets to be where something comes up that's really good for my ego and image, I am going to dump you because that's what's more important. At what point are we going to pick a path? And some people were illuminated to the truth. Some people are just now being illuminated to the truth. That if we're in relationship with people who build their life on a more worldly foundation or self foundation, and we're trying to build a foundation on truth and love and authenticity, theirs might be a more wanting to be a little more superficial and shallow, like, this is great, we should stay in a relationship and we have sex. It's like, I want love, and I want someone who is making love to me, not having sex with me. And also, I want someone who's decided they have hope and faith and belief and love. And if you don't, my dreams can't come into reality with you. And then there's the people that keep juggling back and forth, can't decide what they want to do. So some people were illuminated to the truth and they've walked away, and even though they could be sad that some friendships and relationships didn't move forward with them, other people are. As you move forward in life, I think people from your past, people in your present, people in your future that you're going to meet, the whole thing is we have free will. Everybody else has got free will. And I think you're just going to listen to your intuition, as with anybody that you meet and that might reach out to you or that you reach out to listen to your intuition, because that's one of also the lessons you've learned. And that's what some people also don't know about you. Some of the people who think that you're just putting on an illusion don't realize that you've gotten out of your ego and you're living your life more from your emotionally intuitive, loving nature, because these cards weren't showing themselves. They still are not illuminated to the truth. Some of them are still thinking, let's jump down here. They view you as loving. They're still expecting their dreams to come into reality with you, and they're not listening to their intuition, and they keep hiding that they think it's just and fair to not be just and fair. They have these things of the world, whatever it is they think they got, or they're just full of themselves, that you're going to come back. You want love and believe in yourself. You want these things of the world. They could think you're just trying to manipulate them. When you're either seeing the truth, you're self-aware, you're aware of how these people wear a false mask. They try to present themselves as loving, but they're really kind of more about themselves. The kings in tarot can represent how we take action in the world, but in shadow, it can represent that we're operating more from our egoic nature. And some people, this is how they live their life. I just have to present myself as like this loving family person to people in the world, project this image, this is my false mask, but really, I'm about myself. Secretly. I'm not balanced within myself. I'm tipped out of balance. It's kind of more about me thinking if I present this way of being in the world, I can get people to be in a relationship with me. Or because I have these things of the world, there'll be people who want to be in a relationship with me. I don't have to be authentically myself. I don't maybe have to think I have to be just and fair in a relationship. I don't think I need to do this in a work. Shit, look at the things I got. Reminds me of that Bible verse that it would be easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to get into heaven. And partly it's because they are, whatever it is I think they got, that people would want to offer them love. I have these things and traits and characteristics that the world values. There'll be someone who wants to be in a relationship with me. They're operating from their ego. And if it's money, well, if you're someone who maybe or has a lot of status, image, power, money, you can feel very, I don't need anything from anyone. I got these things of the world to work with. I don't need a higher power. I don't need to look at life from any other perspective. I don't need to adhere to a higher truth or justice in life. I kind of got it going on, and I think I'm the boss. I think I can get things to work out the way I want. And what they don't realize is that justice is not on their side. And they don't realize that when we're not taking action, because I kind of think this whole game of life is with us, with our dualistic nature, to be illuminated to the truth that love was the answer. But we do have all these lessons to learn in life. We do have our worldly nature. We do have our more immature, prideful, egotistical, I want to do what I want to do. I don't think there's any consequences. And as we go through life, we face all these consequences. Some of the people who definitely are less likely to change and be illuminated to the truth that it's about love are the people who benefit from things not changing. Because again, they might have this status, this image, this power, or whatever they've got, and it benefits them. They probably don't want to see the truth. You mean I can't be all about me? You mean I can't just wear my false mask? You mean I can't use my money or my materialism or my power to just manipulate everyone all the time? Or my looks, or whatever, my sexuality, whatever. People use whatever they use. Not with everyone. Some of the high vibe people in their life have left. Some of the high vibe people in their life are going to leave. And it's like, huh? And they can't figure out why it didn't work out the way they thought it was going to work out. It's like, because you're not very balanced within yourself. You seem to think that people should indulge you, that the scales should be tipped in your favor. And other people have a different idea of what they think is just and fair. And if they can go find someone who doesn't listen to their intuition over time and doesn't become illuminated to the truth, then it's perfect. Let's stay in a relationship. Let's both hide that we're maybe in the relationship more because we have some fears and insecurities or codependencies or haven't learned to love and believe in ourselves. Perfect. Let's make our life about indulgence or the world or ego or image or money and materialism. Let's not think there's any higher truth or justice to aspire to. And some people do think there's higher things to aspire to. It's kind of like high vibe energy represented by God, shadowy energy represented by the devil. That's the big battling force above us, metaphorically or whatever you want to believe. But we apparently live in a world of duality. I think it's obvious that we can choose this or that, and we can choose anything on the spectrum in between. And there's people all over the spectrum. I think kind of things stay in balance in a way. There's probably 50% of the people that are more aligned with their more loving nature and 50% of the people with their more worldly nature. And then there's the most of the people are probably still going back and forth, can't pick a side yet. And that's part of the learning process. We get in all these relationships with these different people to help us get clear about what our truth is. We could have all gotten in situations that we thought, oh my gosh, yeah, this sounds great. I want this job. I want this friend. I want this romantic relationship. But the thing is, if the people aren't willing to grow and heal and mature and respect everybody as their own unique individual, that they're not into being manipulated and groupthink, well, some of those people really have a problem with that because they all conform. Which makes me think of that Bible verse, don't be conformed to this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. We were given these unique talents, skills, and interests. We were given our creative, our imaginative nature. We were given things that are unique to us, the people who, all the different things that, these are the people that some of them on the extreme edge, if they had been born in caveman days and everybody was like them, we'd still be caveman people today because they're unwilling. They turn their back on listening to their intuition. We go through these phases of life, we learn lessons. Then we evaluate what we have created. And then, instead of saying, oh my gosh, this is perfect, let's do this forever. Is there no one in the crowd who says, you know what, there's a lot of things I like about that too, but I was kind of thinking maybe if we put our own creative spin on it in our fire energy, our creative inspired nature, that maybe we could do things differently. Everybody had to pee outside. Then they maybe dug a hole so everybody could pee and poop in the same hole. Then they maybe made a pot so people could go to the bathroom inside the cave. And then somebody dug a trench so it's like we can all go there and it'll all run downhill. Now we have lights and indoor plumbing and cell phones and airplanes. That's how, if you were to look at life force energy, God, trying to see what potential could come of people coming here with free will, there's going to be some people that get caught up in the illusion of the world, get caught up more in their ego or their fear or their insecurity. But there's going to be some people that are going to listen to their intuition and are going to help bring these new things into reality. And the people who listen to their intuition aren't going to keep repeating an old pattern over and over. I've been there. I've done that. I've been in that type of job. I've hung out with those type of people. I didn't find it emotionally fulfilling. I did for a while, but then they were unwilling to change. Can we be like a 15-year-old, but then can we be more like an 18-year-old? And then can we let go of that and become more like a 21-year-old together? And the people who listen to their intuition, who love the people that, not everybody can love people that they're working with, but if they're willing to get out of the idea of thinking that it should be more their way, and if they're willing to let go of that idea that it has to be their way, then those people would be willing to do this inner work. But, that all takes time. It isn't, and then if they do that work within themselves, then together, and that's what basically high vibe people are trying to do in relationships is over time, because, you didn't immediately think, oh, it's not like we're 15 and then the next day it's like, oh, now I want to be like an 18-year-old and I'm all motivated by that. No, we all enjoy the phase of life that we're in. And then over time, we're kind of slowly, incrementally changing. We're kind of hoping other people are going to slowly, incrementally change. And they see us maybe doing it and moving forward differently. And then sometimes those people get in their ego and it causes them a lot of stress and anxiety that you're changing. And then they decide they're not maybe ready to change. And then they can look to want to go get in a relationship with someone else because they're just not willing to step out of their comfort zone or detach from maybe being more about themselves or more about the world or what they think is just and fair. And maybe it would throw them out of balance to live their life differently because it's not really the truth of who they are. And we can't move forward in life differently if we're not really kind of ready for that. It would crumble and fall. And so some people have to stay where they're at because they haven't done this inner work within themselves to enable them to move to the next phase of life. So that's why we wish them peace and we move on. What's coming on? And some of the people right now that are in some mismatched relationships, they don't realize that some of the people in their life are doing this inner work within themselves and are inspired to move forward in life differently. And sometimes, it's not like we think we got to tell everybody this. It's just some people think it's a normal progression of life, and the dream, things grow and change and mature over time. And some people, that the high vibe people, didn't realize that other people could think, no, I'm not changing. I don't know what you're doing over there. Don't really matter to me. I'm going to do what I'm doing. I know I'm not willing to change. It might cause me stress and anxiety as I start seeing you change and you want to move forward in this new way. But that caused me a lot of stress and anxiety. Some people got in relationships with people. One person had hope and faith and belief, and the other person was kind of hiding that they're kind of operating more from that they could have gotten in the relationship because they were kind of in their ego about something, that there really is maybe someone else that is more aligned with their truth, but maybe that relationship didn't work out. So then they could have gotten in this relationship and they've been hiding the truth. And then as the relationship moves forward, both people could kind of start to see that we're not really on the same page. Either someone was kind of putting on a facade and that's really not their truth, and even though they could both be loving people, someone kind of could have indulged themselves in a relationship. And then, are we going to keep moving forward in the illusion we created when really we know that's maybe not the truth? Are the people that could, it's complicated, right? Anyway, just listen to your intuition. Honesty is the best policy. Love yourself, believe in yourself. When one door closes, another door opens. Sometimes some of the people who come into our life, we had valuable lessons to learn from that life experience and from that person. But God knows if they were the person who is meant to stay in your life. God knows what would really be emotionally fulfilling and happy for you. And being where you're on different pages or view life differently, or one person maybe wanting to stay in it more for the ego or the image, one person really wanting more to do love, there's going to be a problem sooner or later. So what's coming up for the high vibe people? The World card. Why? Because of the Queen of Pentacles. They've seen the truth about what they want to emotionally invest in based on their philosophy of life. And again, we get in these different relationships in life to help us get clear about what our truth is. And I view the Queen of Pentacles as Taurus energy. And it can be, these ways we view life, because Taurus energy is kind of like our philosophy of life at any given moment in time. And we live our life in a certain way in our Taurus energy and with certain people in our life, because that's where we all were. That was our philosophy of life. We were all at that stage of life. But some high vibe people have been illuminated to some type of truth, or they've healed, or they've grown, or they've matured, and they're ready to close out that cycle of life to go face their fears and insecurities about going to the next phase of life. And some of those people, there might be people that they could be tempted to be in a relationship with. If they're already in a relationship, they might be unwilling. Yeah, there might be other people that's like, gosh, it seems like you'd be a great employee or a great person to be in a relationship with. But if I'm already in a relationship, I'm not going to, if I were to do that, I'd be acting out of ego. I might view you as a loving person, but I've learned lessons in life that if I don't act with character and integrity and I indulge in my shadow nature, I am not going to get the justice I think I'm going to get. Some people did let go of some loving people in their life because it can just be that they still have lessons to learn. They're not really ready to move forward in life differently. And they went to go pursue something else and they didn't get the justice they wanted. And if those people still haven't learned that lesson, they're either going to try to manipulate another relationship. What they should do is go get in a relationship with someone who's like on the same page as them, who views life the way they do, and learn the lesson they were meant to learn. Because, sometimes people try to act like more grown, more matured, more healed, more stable, or in balance than they are. And that's not going to work out so good because eventually other people are going to see the truth of it. And they really should kind of get in a relationship with someone who's just kind of more where they're at. Quit wearing a false mask. Be authentically who you are. Get in relationships with people who are on the same page as you. It's kind of like trying to apply for a job that you're not qualified for. Odds are that's not going to go well. People are going to be illuminated to the truth. How about you go get a job that is at the level of your experience level, and then maybe together and with those people, you can build upon it. And other people, it's just a change in their philosophy of life. Some people are going to quit nurturing a certain foundation, because the Queen of Pentacles can be about trying to encourage people and nurture them. They're done. If they've seen the truth that some of those people they were in relationship with are kind of prideful or egotistical or bossy or controlling and unwilling to do truth and love, they're going to detach from those people. If the people they've been moving forward with and they've been doing this work and they're a loving person and they realize if I keep moving forward with this relationship, this is not going to turn out the way I think because I haven't been wanting to see the truth. And now they're willing to not move forward with those people and take this time to live their more authentic life. And they're doing this work within themselves to be more authentically themselves. We're either moving forward with people that aren't aligned with our truth and we're not going to keep moving forward with them, or we are living our truth and we're going to keep moving forward with those people. Okay, what's coming up for the people who harness a little more worldly or shadowy? Oh, and some people who thought they could manipulate a loving person, trying to get them like in their ego, trying to get them to not see the truth. I'm going to turn my back on you. I know you're intuitive and you're stable and grounded and you're loving, but I'm hoping if I turn my back on you and maybe go invest in these other things or people in the world, I don't think you'll go within, and I don't think you'll do this work within yourself to see the truth. And I think you'll be stressed about going somewhere else. And I think you'll come back and do the relationship my way. And some of those people are still thinking that, and they don't realize the other people have already been illuminated to the truth. They think that person's all stressed out. It's like, no, that person maybe hasn't moved forward in some new victory, like a different relationship, because they're just doing this work within themselves and listening to their intuition. And when their intuition tells them that's the person I can go be in a relationship with, that's the next job I should go get, that's when those people will take that action. And that's when these people will be like, what? What? And they'll realize the only person who didn't get justice in this situation was them, because they were trying to manipulate and control people versus getting out of their ego, choosing truth and love, illuminating the truth. And then I think they're the people who are going to end up being stressed out because people aren't indulging them in their poor behavior. And they did this work to love and believe in themselves to close out a cycle. Like, I don't want to be in relationships with people who are like this. This person keeps showing me every day, every month, whatever, about the type of person they are. And I've been illuminated to the truth. They had more than enough opportunity when I was in a relationship with them and after to do this work and illuminate the truth, but they rejected that. Well, then we're not on the same page, are we? And your philosophy of life is different than my philosophy of life. And from a foundation of loving and believing in myself, I wish you peace, but I'm cutting you out of my life. And I'm no longer going to be investing in you, and I don't see you as someone I want to date or be friends with or be in a relationship or a workplace or a marriage with anymore. And I've seen the truth, that it's about love. And I'm becoming independent and loving myself to get out of my ego about it, to work through the emotional confusion that you don't choose love and everybody's got free will. And I see you always give in to indulging your more fearful or insecure or immature nature. And I'm going to manifest a new loving beginning with other people who harness high vibe Aries energy, which Libra and Aries are on opposite sides of the zodiac wheel. And if you were to look up your own zodiac sign, if you're not a Libra, you can find out what your opposite one is. And the whole thing is to try to get balance between the two and learn these life lessons. And some people are still learning lessons, maybe being more motivated and inspired about themselves or their worldly nature instead of being more just and fair in relationships. But other people have already learned those lessons just like you, and they are motivated and inspired by love. And those are the people you're going to go get in relationship with. So what's coming up for the people who are harnessing a little more worldly, shadowy Libra energy that they might not see coming up? Well, I guess I was holding my deck upside down, but we have this in reverse. The Star card, the Knight of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Nine of Pentacles, the Two of Swords, the Tower, the Knight of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. And the reason it came out is because of the Eight of Swords. They could be really surprised that some people got out of a mental prison. They're in a mental prison because they're living more from their mind than their heart, kind of doing what seems logical and practical, or out of fear or insecurity or something like that. And then sometimes people who are shadowy do hurtful, unkind things to people, turn their back on people in order to cause them stress and anxiety, in order to manipulate them. And they see that they're surprised that some other people are no longer imprisoned. It's kind of like, we hold the key to freeing ourselves. Some people think that you would view them as the key to your safety, your security, your stability, your happiness or something. That's the difference between devil and the God, right? God encourages people to love and believe in themselves, to heal and grow and mature themselves, offers them like high vibe energy, and high vibe people in the world offer you love and encouragement to love and believe in yourself. Shadowy people, kind of represented by the devil, like people to look to them and be codependent on them. You need me. Don't listen to your intuition. Don't believe in any higher truth or power. I don't. It's about the world, and I've got these things. You need to look to me like I'm your God. And they're surprised that some people don't view life the way they view life. That you don't seem to be imprisoned by the same things they're imprisoned by. That you aren't in your more worldly, egoic nature about looking like a shining star in the world. And you also don't view this person as someone you probably look up to and admire anymore, which at one point you could have. And you're no longer investing in that or them. And you've gotten balanced within yourself, and you're no longer juggling, going back and forth. You picked your path. Truth and love and intuition and belief in myself and my dreams is guiding my decisions. Letting go of your more worldly nature and being stuck. Because when you were more up in your head about if your dreams would come into reality, not loving and believing in yourself, you could have invested in some people who seem like they maybe had those things of the world that your dreams could come into reality with. Because you were juggling knowing your own worth and value and believing in yourself and believing in your dreams and listening to your intuition. And you weren't willing previously to let go of that more worldly view of life. And you found yourself stuck in an unstable foundation. That you decided that whatever you invested in, those people don't offer love and they don't look at life as an adventure to be lived, and you do. So you offered love to your own unstable foundation to get out of your more immature nature and indulging people in the world. And you're no longer imprisoned, and you're no longer harnessing these energies in a shadowy way. And the people who try to kind of manipulate and control people or think people will, even though they're very loving people, will constantly indulge them and always indulge them because for some reason, eventually those people want to move forward in a more authentic, loving relationship. And they feel like people aren't offering them love like they're offering people love. And it just gets really tiring to keep seeming like you're the one who has to keep putting all this work and effort to manifest this relationship working out, where it's like you be loving and they're about themselves. And eventually it's like, I'm done. I'm going to love my own inner child nature. I might have viewed you as a loving person that I wanted to have in my life long term. But your idea of what it means to be in a relationship long term is kind of more about you being indulgent about yourself or your way or the highway. And it's an imbalanced relationship. And I don't want an imbalanced relationship anymore. And I'm giving myself the things that I wish you would have given me. Maybe I was more codependent. Maybe I'm someone who is very loving, and a pattern I could have had is indulging people and really trying to encourage people to be more just and fair in a relationship and love and believe in themselves or whatever. And I'm done with that way of living my life. I'm going to distance myself from the people in my life that seem to hide that they operate more from their ego on trying to manipulate people than being just and fair and authentic and open and honest. And I wish you peace, but I'm done investing in this. And though it makes me sad, the only person I can change is me. And apparently you keep showing me over and over you're not willing to change. So I'm going to go have a new beginning and give it everything I've got. To believe in myself, believe in my dreams from the energy of love. I believe if that's what I start investing my time, energy, and effort into within myself and only those type of people in my life, then I'm not letting in people who are trying to manipulate me or control me or are selfish or greedy or prideful or egotistical, and I won't be in relationship with those people. Odds are I'll be in relationships with loving, nurturing, supportive, encouraging people, or just enjoying my day with the people in the world where I don't have anybody in my life trying to manipulate and control me. Ah, what a great life. And I'm sure over time I will find the people who are on the same page as me. And another thing some of these people don't see coming is that the high vibe people are going to close out a cycle with people who live their life one way, and they're going to meet people who live their life from a different perspective. And other people are going to close out cycles just like you are, moving to that next phase of life. People that you're going to want to emotionally invest in and work for and get in relationships with and marry, and other people who are going to want to do that with you. And you're just going to use your intuition to decipher that, yeah, people can come towards me, I can meet people, but I've learned these lessons in life. What some people don't know about you is you have been illuminated to the truth about shadowy people that are more about themselves and looking to indulge themselves with a loving person. And you're going to listen to your intuition about those people, and the people that your intuition tells you you need to walk away from, you will walk away from them because you've learned to listen to your intuition. And there's going to be other people that you're going to meet that your intuition will tell you those are the people that you can move forward with. And you'll move forward with them. The shadowy people still don't want to deal with the truth, and they might have someone who comes towards them who seems like they're not up in their head, maybe about their dreams coming into reality or about a higher truth, and that they want to be in a relationship with them. And what this person doesn't see coming is that they're going to get in a relationship with someone who's just like them. And for some, if those type of people are like, oh my God, thank goodness I'm in a relationship, or thank goodness we have status and image or whatever, or we have power or influence, or I'm attractive, you're attractive. Thank goodness I found someone who's on the same page as me in that regard. And those people, it'll be a match for them. It just won't, and it could seem to have all those things of the world that they want. It's just that they settled more for the illusion than what they could have had if they were willing to be more open and authentic and giving and receiving of love. Because this could be a relationship that it's all about the status and the image and the money. So by worldly standards, it looks good. It's just that it's not based on love. With people who've given a lot of thought to love. Instead, it's two people who are really fearful of love. So it's kind of like people that wear this false mask where they're kind of indulging themselves in the relationship secretly. And I would say, though, it's maybe a very imbalanced relationship, and very much could be harnessing these energies in a shadowy way, because everybody that's in the relationship isn't in it because of love. And everybody could be trying to manipulate and control everybody else and strategizing how they're going to look like the just and fair and stable and abundant person. And that person isn't so much, but we're going to stay in it because of the status and the money and the image. But basically, almost at any moment, people would be willing to backstab and betray each other. But they want to make sure that they come out like they're the stable, grounded, successful, victorious, loving looking person, even though they're not. It's all about the illusion. So there you go, Libra energy. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.